Welcome to House Money Inc., where we don't chase wealth, we build it. Let's cut through the noise. Everything you've been told about debt is a lie. The system wants you to fear debt because your fear is their profit. They say debt is evil, but that's just to keep you small and compliant. Debt isn't good or bad, it's a tool. In the wrong hands, it's a trap. In the right hands, it's rocket fuel. The rich use debt to build empires. The poor are trapped by it. The difference? Mindset and strategy. Schools and gurus won't teach you this. They want you to be a consumer, not an owner. They profit from your ignorance, selling you the dream of being debt-free while you stay broke. Being debt-free with no assets is just being broke with a zero balance. If you're ready to break free, hit like, share, and subscribe, because we're about to expose the system. You've had enough poison. Here's the antidote. Let's get into it. Debt is a coin with two faces, enslavement and leverage. Most people know the pain. Collection calls, endless bills, high-interest credit cards for stuff that loses value. This is emotional, impulsive debt. It keeps you working just to survive. Every payment you make on this kind of debt makes someone else richer. Now flip the coin. The wealthy use debt as leverage. They borrow to buy assets, real estate, businesses that generate income. They use other people's money to build wealth, not to buy liabilities. If you can borrow at 5% and earn 15%, you're not reckless, you're smart. This is strategic, calculated debt. The rich command it. While most save for decades to buy one property, the wealthy use debt to buy dozens. You can't save your way to millions, but you can borrow your way there. It's not about morality, it's about math. This is the divide debt as a prison, or debt as a path to freedom. Which side are you on? Let's keep going. The real divide isn't money, it's mindset. The real divide isn't money, it's mindset. The real divide isn't money, it's mindset. Most people are taught to fear debt, to play defense, to dream small. This fear keeps you stuck, working for decades just to pay off a house. Meanwhile, the wealthy use leverage to build portfolios, not just pay off mortgages. The system wants you afraid, so you never use debt strategically. They use words like burden and trap to keep you in line. This conditioning ensures you only take on debt from a place of weakness. To break free, you need to reprogram your thinking. Respect debt's power, don't fear it. See it as a tool, not a failure. Without this mindset shift, no tactic will work. The debt divide starts in your mind. For most, debt is a survival game. It starts with student loans, then car loans, then credit cards for daily life. Each swipe sells your future for a fleeting moment. Interest rates are designed to keep you paying forever. You're taxed by banks, living paycheck to paycheck, dreading emergencies. This stress controls your life, keeping you too busy to build anything new. The system profits from your struggle. You see the world through, I can't afford that. Opportunities pass you by because you're afraid of debt. You work your whole life to be debt-free, but with no assets, you're just broke at zero. The system sold you a finish line that keeps you powerless. The wealthy know the real starting line, using other people's money to get ahead. Time to change your view. Now let's see debt from the top. The wealthy see debt as opportunity, not anxiety. They borrow to seize opportunities, not to survive. Loan applications are business proposals, not pleas for help. They protect their own cash and use the bank's money to build wealth. Leverage is their secret, more results, less personal risk. The average person borrows for a car, the wealthy borrow for an apartment complex. The car drains money, the complex generates it. Debt isn't a burden, it's the engine of profit. The rich use debt to buy cash flow and assets. They know money is abundant. Banks need to lend. They build relationships, bring smart deals, and aren't limited by their own cash. The financial system is their toolbox. For the rich, debt is a tool. For everyone else, it's a trap. Which will it be for you? Not all debt is created equal. Most debt pushed on us is bad debt. Money borrowed for things that lose value or produce no income. It's the credit card for designer clothes, the loan for a new car, the bill for a fancy dinner. This debt makes you poorer with every payment, feeding your ego but starving your freedom. Recognize bad debt for what it is, a weapon against your wealth. The first step to freedom? Stop taking it, effective immediately. Now let's talk about the other side of the coin. Good debt is the secret weapon of the rich. It's money you borrow to buy assets that generate income and grow in value. Instead of you working for the debt, the asset pays for itself and pays you. Like buying a rental property, tenants cover the mortgage, you keep the cash flow, and the property appreciates. Or using a loan to buy a business that generates profit, That's how you build wealth and reach financial freedom. In the heat of the moment, how do you know if you're taking on a golden goose or a poison pill? You need a simple, instant test. Before you sign any loan or swipe a credit card, ask, will this debt make someone else rich, or will it make me rich? If the wealth flows to you, like with income-producing assets, it's good debt. If it flows away, it's bad debt. This one question is your shield and sword. Use it every time. The debt trap isn't a bug in the system, it's the system's most profitable feature. Its bars aren't steel but financial products, societal pressure and ignorance. From a young age, you're taught to be a good consumer, not an owner or investor. The media and advertisers bombard you with images of success tied to consumption. The solution they offer? Debt, easy credit. Buy now, pay later. By the time the weight of payments becomes suffocating, you're already too deep inside. The cage is locked and you hold the key, yet you've been taught to fear using it. The bars of the debt cage may be financial, but the chains that truly bind you are psychological. The system doesn't just trap your money, it hijacks your mind. The most powerful chain is shame. From a young age, we are conditioned to believe that being in debt is a personal, moral failing. It's a sign that you are irresponsible, undisciplined, or just not smart enough. This shame keeps you silent. You don't talk about your debt struggles with friends or family because you're embarrassed. This isolation is exactly what the system wants. An isolated debtor is a compliant debtor. You won't seek out alternative strategies or question the system if you believe the problem is you, and you alone. This shame is expertly weaponized by the collectors and the lenders. Their entire business model relies on making you feel stressed and inadequate. The constant calls, the threatening letters, the bold red past due notices. It's all psychological warfare designed to provoke an emotional response. They want you to feel fear, anxiety, and desperation. When you're in that state of mind, you don't think logically. You don't look for strategic solutions. You just do whatever it takes to make the immediate pain stop, which often means taking on even more bad debt, like a payday loan just to stay afloat. You're reacting, not planning, which keeps you running on their treadmill. Another powerful psychological chain is the addiction to instant gratification. We live in a world that sells now. You can order a product and have it on your doorstep in hours. You can stream any movie you want instantly. This has conditioned our brains to expect and demand immediate rewards. The credit system preys on this impulse. It separates the pleasure of acquiring something from the pain of paying for it. Swiping a plastic card feels abstract and painless in the moment. The real pain of the bill comes later, disconnected from the initial dopamine hit of the purchase. This creates a dangerous behavioral loop that is as addictive as any drug, trapping you in a cycle of borrow, buy, regret, repeat. Finally, the system cultivates a sense of hopelessness. When you're buried under a mountain of bills, it can feel impossible to imagine ever getting out. The numbers are so large, and your income feels so small. This feeling of being overwhelmed leads to paralysis. You might think, what's the point of even trying? I'll never pay this off. This mindset is the ultimate victory for the lenders. A hopeless debtor is the most profitable customer of all. They will resign themselves to a life of making minimum payments, which mathematically guarantees they will pay 2, 3, or even 4 times the original amount borrowed over the life of the loan. Your hopelessness is their retirement plan. The debt trap doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow boil, like the proverbial frog in water you don't notice until you're trapped. Debt is normalized. Everyone has a car payment, a mortgage, student loans. When everyone's in the same boat, it just feels normal. You slowly accumulate payments that chain you to a job and a life you may not want. This is modern-day servitude, quiet, comfortable, and accepted by most. Let's talk about the real game, the one the winners play. The rich use OPM, other people's money. While most save slowly, the wealthy command capital they don't own. Your savings are limited, but your ability to borrow is nearly limitless if you know how. The rich use banks and investors' money to control assets, not just own them. Leverage magnifies returns. This isn't magic, it's math. To access OPM, act like a professional. Build a track record, create bulletproof plans, and present yourself as an opportunity, not a risk. The poor and middle class let money sit, losing value to inflation. The rich know a dollar in motion can do the work of 10. Their goal? Keep capital moving, multiplying itself from one deal to the next. Buy assets, create new equity, pull it out, and repeat. This is velocity. It's how real empires are built. Don't just make your money work, make it sprint. Here's a secret: the IRS and your government don't want you to scream from the rooftops. The tax code is not written for the W-2 employee. It's written for the business owner and the investor. It's a rule book filled with incentives designed to encourage the very activities that the rich engage in. And one of the most powerful tools in this rule book is debt. The government wants you to borrow money to buy assets like real estate. They want you to provide housing. They want you to stimulate the economy. And they reward you for it with massive tax breaks that are completely unavailable to the average person. First, let's talk about interest. When you take on bad debt, like a credit card or a car loan, the interest you pay is just gone. It's an expense that makes you poorer. But when you take on good debt to buy an investment property or a business, the interest you pay on that loan is a business expense. It's tax deductible. This means it reduces your taxable income. So the very debt that is buying you a cash-flowing asset is also providing you with a shield that legally protects your income from the IRS. The government is essentially subsidizing your use of leverage. The richer you get using debt, the more tax benefits you can unlock. It gets even better. The government allows you to depreciate the value of your real estate assets on paper, even while they are appreciating in the real world. This is a phantom expense called depreciation. You get to deduct a portion of the building's value from your taxable income each year, even though you didn't actually spend any cash. This can often reduce your taxable income from the property to zero or even create a paper loss. This means the cash flow you receive in your pocket can be partially or completely tax-free. You get paid every month, but on paper, you're losing money. It's the biggest accounting gimmick in the world, and it's 100% legal. This is the ultimate deception. The system is set up to punish earned income, the money you work for, with the highest taxes. But it rewards passive and portfolio income, the money your assets earn for you, with the lowest taxes. Debt is the key that unlocks these rewards. It allows you to acquire the assets that generate this favorably taxed income. While the middle class is complaining about how much they pay in taxes, the rich are legally paying little to nothing because they understand this game. They use debt to buy assets, which produce cash flow and generate massive paper deductions like interest and depreciation, shielding their wealth from the very system that is supposed to tax it. The final piece of the puzzle is where you go from being a player to being a king. It's the art of scaling your empire, using the strategic refinance. An empire builder pulls out tax-free cash to fund the next acquisition. You buy, renovate, increase rents, and force the value up. The bank lends on the new value. You walk away with tax-free cash. Then you repeat, scaling up, deal after deal. This is the million-dollar play. It's how the rich dominate the game. The world of money is divided, the masters and the slaves. The slaves work for a paycheck, fear debt, and trade time for money, never breaking free. The masters? They use debt as a tool, building wealth and collecting interest. The system isn't broken. It's designed to transfer wealth from the financially illiterate to the sophisticated. Now, you stand at a crossroads. Will you keep playing defense, or learn the rules and command your future? The choice is yours. No one is coming to save you. The difference between a life of financial servitude and a life of absolute freedom comes down to a single decision. The decision to change your mind. It's not about your current income, your background, or how much money you have in the bank right now. It's about shattering the mental prison they have built around you. You must reject the fear, the shame, and the hopelessness associated with debt, and replace it with strategy, education, and aggressive action. You have to stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a capitalist. A consumer asks, how much does it cost? A capitalist asks, how much does it pay me? That simple shift in perspective is the first and most critical step toward your own liberation. Start small but think big. Begin by analyzing every dollar of debt you have through the lens of our litmus test. Is it making you richer or someone else richer? Vow to stop accumulating any new bad debt, effective immediately. Every dollar you stop spending on interest for depreciating junk is a dollar you can redirect towards your freedom fund. Start studying the world of good debt. Learn about real estate investing. Learn how to analyze a deal. Read books, listen to podcasts. Find mentors who are actually playing the game at a high level, not the so-called gurus on TV who are just selling you the same old slave mentality in a shinier package. Your financial education is your own responsibility. Don't let the scale of this intimidate you. The wealthy didn't start with million-dollar loans, they started with $1 million mindset. They started by understanding these principles and then they took action. Your first deal might be small, but it's the proof of concept you need to build momentum. The journey from financial slave to financial master is a series of calculated strategic steps. It's about using debt to buy your first asset, then using that asset to buy your next, and the next. It's about building a machine, piece by piece, that will eventually run on its own, generating the income you need to live life entirely on your own terms. This is the key. This is the way out. Unlock the chains of modern-day slavery. Wealth is the key. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. If you're ready to continue this journey and build real generational wealth, then, like this video, share it with someone who needs to wake up, and make sure you subscribe to House Money Inc. We're not just chasing wealth here, we're building it, and we're just getting started. Take this knowledge, apply it, and go build your empire. The game is waiting for a new player. It's time for that player to be you.